Um, yes. Mm, okay.
I think you can probably get started.
I think so too. Okay. Good afternoon or evening, everybody. My name's Mike Roberts. I'll be doing the short Zoom lesson for today. The topic that we had for today's hands was counting signals on defense. When should you use them? When should you not use them? And I put one situation that isn't, it's a count situation, but it's not obvious how you should be showing count. That'll be come up later. But let's go over the forehands. Put the transcript of today's lesson or a copy of today's lessons is already in chat. I'll do that again at the end. And if you'd like to discuss any of the other hands, I promise I've got them more organized than I did on Tuesday. So we can go over any other hands you'd like to go over after I've done my four. All right. So the first hand I had was number five. This was going to be a pretty basic auction, I'd hope. North is the dealer. They do have 15 points. So they should open a no trump. There's lots of negatives about this hand. It doesn't have very many, it doesn't have any spot cards and it's four triple three, but it's still 15 points. Nowadays, everybody will open in this one no. East passes. Um, South has 10 high card points, so that's enough to drive to game opposite a one no trump opener. You're not sure about the King of Spades, but it's probably still worth points. Um, oh, sorry, 11 high card points. Um, with the It doesn't pay to look for minor suit contracts on these hands. You frequently end up getting past a makeable 3 no trump to play five of a minor that even if it makes, it scores less than 3 no trump. And lots of times 3 no trump makes, and once you get past it, you're sort of stuck. So I think you should just raise to 3 no trump with the south hand. You don't have any interest in a major. You've got enough to get to game. Let's just get to 3 no trump. So we've done that. So 1 no pass, 3 no pass, pass, pass. East is on lead. We like to lead a major if we have a choice on this auction. They didn't look for a 4-4 major suit fit. Therefore, it's a little more likely the partner has cards in the majors than they do in the minors. You don't take that to an extreme. You'd still lead minors on some hand. But this hand, I think you clearly want to lead a spade instead of a diamond. Um, and with two cards in a sequence against no trump, you'd lead low from four or more. If I was going to be leading this suit against, say, four hearts, I'd lead the queen because it's more important to set up your high card trick rather than your long trick. But against suit contracts, or against no trump contracts, lead fourth best if there's two connecting cards. You need three connecting cards. Maybe they might be broken, like Queen Jack nine, before you start leading an otter. This one you lead the four of spades. That works out very well for a surprise reason. And the surprise reason is that means that declarer has to use the king of spades at trick one. Um, I like the 10 of spades here, but that's a long story. But let's count tricks for declare. They have two spades, no hearts, but it's two once they knock out the ace. If they can cash all the clubs, they get four clubs, but they do still have to knock out the ace and two diamonds. So there's more than enough tricks. The problem is that there's no entry to the club suit anymore. You might get there with one of the red jacks, but there's no quick one. So the defense should concentrate when, especially when dummy has a long entryless suit, the defense should concentrate on only giving declare the club tricks that they're allowed to take. So they want to distinguish between this case where East has two clubs and North has three versus the other case where North has two clubs and East has three. And the only way for West to know the difference between the two, aside from peeking in somebody's hand, is for East to help out by showing count in the club suit. As a very rough guide, you signal with attitude when your partner has led the suit. You signal with count if the opponents are playing a suit, if the declaring side is playing a suit. That's a general rule about when you make a attitude signal versus a count signal. There are exceptions, and different styles of defenders. There's defenders who have agreed we will show count, 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 count. And there's other very good defenders who say we're not going to show count at all. We'll just work it out by ourselves. Most of them play a mix between the two. On this hand, where dummy has an entryless suit, this is one where showing count is close to vital. So on the king of clubs, West can duck this round. Declare can do something. And now East wants to say, I have an even number of clubs. They do that with standard signals by playing their high club and then their low club, going high low. So a high low in a suit, if you're going to make a count signal, shows an even number. So on this hand, they play the eight of clubs. West now knows, well, that can't be four because that gives declare a small singleton club. That can't be three because this is the highest club. And partner would play a low club if they had 8, 6, 5, for example. Um, so they know that either partner has two clubs or they might have a singleton club. But you can't do anything if that's the case. But they do know that after the king of clubs, declare plays the queen. They know that declare should have three clubs here. So they should be comfortable in ducking another round of clubs. Now you can see there's no quick entry to the club suit anymore. Declare might as well. Eh, it's sort of tough. Declare should probably just give up on the club suit because there's not enough time to get knock out the ace and get to dummy. Um, they might try leading a diamond here, but the defense now can knock out spades. And the defense is going to take the king of diamonds, the ace of clubs, the ace of hearts, and two spade tricks and beat it one. Um, if they won the ace of clubs earlier, sorry. So say that they were West didn't know how many clubs the partner had because they weren't paying attention or they didn't trust their partner. If they won the ace of clubs on the second round, now declare and they return a spade. Now declare has um, four club tricks. They they have two spade tricks. They have one diamond tricks. That's seven, and they can safely knock out the ace of hearts once they'll duck a trick or so. But they can look at that. They can tell from the spot cards that spades are 4-4. You can catch clubs at this point. That's not going to hurt anything. But you're going to pitch diamonds. And you don't have to take the diamond finesse. You just knock out the ace of hearts. They'll cast their spade, and then North's three cards are good. So this is the basic mechanics of when you show count. You tend to show count when you want to in a suit the declarer is playing rather than one where your partner is playing. There are situations where partners led and an attitude signal makes no sense whatsoever. Um, then you might consider treating it as a count situation. When I did the lecture on Tuesday, I said that if dummy wins a queen or higher, it's an attitude situation. If partner leads a suit and dummy is winning the jack, we don't have the ace, king, or queen. Attitude doesn't make much sense. You don't have the ace or the king or the queen. So it's nice to play a count card to tell partner how many cards you have in the suit. It might be helpful. But that's the basics of count. When declare plays a suit, a high-low shows an even number, low-high says I have an odd number, or maybe I just didn't want to give count. But a high-low definitely would show an even number, two or four. That's the basics on it. This one required pretty much pinpoint defense to beat 3-no trump. They certainly had to duck clubs twice. They have to be a little careful after that as well. So if hopefully the three tables were all in 3-no trump, if you beat it, well done for the defense. If not, make sure you utilize these count signals so declarer doesn't get to cash a suit that they aren't entitled to cash. All right, that's hand one. Next one. So the one thing about count signals is you're really trying to help your partner. We all hold far worse hands than everybody else does on average. So one of the things you can do with your bad hands is try to help partner as much as you can. Um, you get a reputation for being somebody who's good to defend with if you're giving partner the information that they need to defend successfully. Here, most of the signals, count signals, most of the examples are against no trump. But for the same reason, they can apply against suit contracts as well, with the same logic, the same system. So on this hand, the auction I suggested was East opens one spade. They have 17 points, but we don't open a no trump with a six card major. So one spade, pass. West sort of makes their catch-all bid with one no trump, pass. I think this is worth three. It's 17 high card. There's a couple of doubletons. It's about 18, maybe 19 points. I think, but I don't think I want a bid game if partner just got 6 points dead minimum. So I think three spades is about right. It's about 16 to a bad 19 points. If you just bid four spades, that's fine. Um, but I think three spades. But after three spades, West has nine high card points. They've got a king more than they've promised. They'd bid one no if they had the same hand without the king of diamonds. So they should be comfortable going to four spades. Pass, pass, pass. Okay, opening lead. Well, we don't lead trumps unless it's called for. So we're going to lead one of the other unbid suits. Might as well lead from our strongest unbid suit, even though there's no sequence there. So I'd suggest leading the fourth best heart. All right. So let's see. Six. Declare should play low from dummy. There might be cases where North held the Queen of Hearts instead, and you wanted to keep a position against the 10. You'd really like it if it went six of hearts low queen. Now you've got two heart tricks on the go. On this hand, it's not going to matter. Six of hearts small. Partner should play third hand high. And then I think they want to return their partner's suit because partner surely has the king or the queen. Otherwise, they would have led a higher heart. And from you lead back. If you have a doubleton left, you lead back the top from the doubleton. That isn't really a count situation. That's something different. But you lead back the three of hearts from your remaining doubleton. It's not clear whether declare should finesse here or not, but I said we're not going to finesse. The reason I might want to finesse here is if the lead was a singleton, I don't want to have it go king and then have ruff, and they still have the queen out. But let's rise. We'll draw some trumps. So we'll draw two rounds of trumps. That's fine. And we play a third round of trumps. South has the option to the chance to do something very nice for partner. If partner doesn't have the ace of diamonds, declarer has it, they're going to be able to run four diamond tricks, whatever, however they play it, unless the ace of diamonds would be singleton. If partner has the ace of diamonds, we want them to only let declarer take as many diamonds as that to which they're entitled. Wow, that was a tough sentence. They don't want to be able to let declare sneak a diamond trick. They don't deserve. So on this one, they're going to pitch a diamond. And this is a count situation. It's very similar to hand number five. Dummy has a long suit. Our partner, you don't know that they have the ace, but we hope to. And we want to make sure that they can work out how many diamonds declarer has by the process of elimination. So I think they should play a diamond card and they should definitely be giving count here. This is a count situation because you don't care, you can't want to encourage diamonds or discourage diamonds. So this is a count situation. One important thing is if you're going to give count, do not be churlish with the spot cards. You want to make the signal as clear as possible. I've seen a lot of people play the four of diamonds here. It might be okay. Certainly, if you get a chance to play the two the next time, hopefully partner noticed. But it's a lot easier if you play the seven of diamonds or even the nine of diamonds. Just hammer the point home that you have an even number of diamonds. The nine looks like it might cost a trick, so I might be a little scared of that, but I certainly would never play the four. I would certainly play the seven. Try and make the signal as clear as possible. So if you do that, now declare might as well try a diamond at this point. And now North has to count. Unfortunately, a lot of defense is math. Um, and once you've shown your even number, uh, North has to do some counting. If partner has four diamonds, dummy has started with four diamonds, and we have three, declarer started with two. So we can duck the first round and win the second one. If partner had only two diamonds instead of four, it does then declare would have four, and it wouldn't really matter how many times we ducked. But in this situation, same logic as before. We want to duck the first round of diamonds. If you do that, declare should not be able to make it. There's a possibility of something good happening, but if they just continue with the queen of diamonds, win the ace, now we can get out in hearts, and you're going to get a. You can sort of see you're going to get the king of clubs at the end here. That's going to defeat the contract one. So it was very similar to the hand before, but a lot of people think that count signals just apply against no trump or primarily apply against no trump. They apply equally well against suit contracts and no trump contracts. Um, Suit contracts, there are more attitude signals because it's important to work out which of your high cards you're cashing. But there, you still want to prevent declare taking tricks that they don't deserve. And count signals help you hold up an ace or a king the appropriate number of times. That's a very good, useful use of count signals. All right. So now we get to the fun hand. I'm sure you all sort of eyes opened wide when I did this one. I sort of wanted to hammer the point here. So I gave East every high card pretty much in the deck. As I said in the write-up, I had to count a couple of times before I got there, but Ace King Queen is nine. I've got three of those is 27, and then there's another king. So the East hand is a 30-point hand. Um, I think you start with two clubs. There's probably there's a question about what a 4-no trump bid should show as an opening bid, but I wouldn't risk that. Let's let partner know we've got a strong hand unambiguously first. Sorry, let's have the two club bidder. Okay, so that's after two passes. Pass, two clubs. South has no reason to intervene. There's some systems where the West hand can make an immediate bid that says I've got a really bad hand. It's called a second negative or a bust hand. Um, but for most people, you don't play that. You just play two diamonds is a waiting bid, and everything else is natural and positive. Let's assume you play that so that West bids two diamonds. That doesn't say anything about diamonds. It's just like, okay, I don't have a positive response. Start telling me about your hand. Pass. There's a strong temptation to jump here to tell partner that we have a lot of points. But our first priority is let's find a fit. The two club bidder, their partner is not allowed to pass any rebid except if they rebid two no trump, because that's a very limited hand. That's 22 to 24 balanced. West is entitled to pass that. But any other bid other than two no trump, West has to bid at least once. So East should be comfortable just bidding two spades. Not only finding out about the spade fit, but if partner bids, let's say, three hearts over two spades, now we've got a heart fit instead of a spade fit. You want to try and find fits first, then start worrying about describing your power. So I think two spades is right. Pass. West has to bid. They have support. And if you've opened two clubs, there's only a couple of sequences that you can get out below game. Once you've established a fit, you should not be able to get out below game. So the point here is that three spades is a forcing bid. It instead that's a forcing bid. That doesn't partner East cannot pass this. So given that they can't pass, jumping to four is because it chews up all the room, shows a really weak. Oh, dang it. Sorry, I'll get back there. Sorry, I always do that. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Pass, two clubs, pass, two diamonds, pass, two spades, pass. So a four spade bid should say, I've got support, but I have a really bad hand. Um, it's it's a much weaker bid than a three spade raise. Some people say the three spade bid promises an ace or king somewhere. That's a reasonable guideline. But this hand should get to game opposite a two club opener because they've got a spade fit. And four spades says I've got a weak, we need to get to game, but given that, I've got a pretty bad hand. Uh, However, East has a pretty good hand. Partner needs so little to make slam. Partner has the Queen of Hearts, and spades break reasonably. They're going to get 12 tricks. So I suggest bidding six spades. Not six no, because partner might have a doubleton in hearts, for example. You might need to rough something. So this is the auction that I suggested doing. Um, East could Blackwood over four spades. If partner happened to have the ace of diamonds, you could bid seven spades. But the auction should say they don't have it anyway. All right. Anyway, that's enough about the auction, although I'm happy to go over that one if you'd like to. Opening lead. This one's sort of tough. I know we've said a lot of times leading aces against slams is a good idea. On this hand, because East has all of the high card, I'm very scared that if I lead the ace of diamonds, I might be setting up Declare's king of diamonds when I don't have to. I'm going to have a heart lead. On the ace of diamonds, it's going to be slightly different. But we're going to do a heart lead and show you what I wanted to do for the lesson on defense here. So six of hearts, and Declare sees the bad news in dummy. They've got all the spades, but they've got one heart loser, and they've got to lose the ace of diamonds. Um, there's a small chance that the jack of diamonds might be Doubleton, but aside from that, uh, there's no much hope unless the defense makes a mistake. Fortunately, we're gonna cash a lot of tricks at them. So let's do this. So six of hearts, small. North should play the jack here because Declare could have ace king 10. We don't want him to get a cheap trick with the 10 in that case. So jack, ace. So we'll draw a couple of rounds of trumps here. King of spades. Again, this would probably be a count situation. So we can certainly afford to pitch one diamond. If we wanted to tell partner we have an even number, we do this. We have a high card, so there's no real point in telling partner, but it's a nice thing to be in practice. King of spades. And let's try a small spade to dummy. Notice we've still got an entry in spades, so we'll play a diamond to knock out the. Okay, sorry. Now this is one. Now dummy is probably. They know there's the entry in spades, but aside from that, dummy is pretty much dead. Um, as long as South keeps the right cards, you're going to beat this, assuming Declare only has 11 tricks on top. So North wants to make sure that South keeps the right cards. To do that, this is a count situation. This is the other one where count is important. When Declare is running a whole bunch of tricks at you, and you have to keep work out whether I keep suit A or suit B, and it's not a matter of the high card, it's a matter of how many cards in each suit Declare and your partner holds. That's where count comes in really useful. So on the four of diamonds, play the six. All right. The other count situation is if we've played an honor or an attitude card in a suit, we give count by the number of cards we have left. The term is a remainder count. You give count with the cards you have remaining. So when they win the ace of diamonds and they play the queen of hearts because that's safe. North should play the eight of hearts here to say I have either one or two remaining, or well, I have an even number remaining. Obviously you might have a singleton at this point, but they win the king. Now they try the queen of diamonds. The jack doesn't drop. So there's nothing else to play for other than cashing their high tricks. Now notice North completes that they've completed their high low in diamonds and they've completed the high low in hearts. So again, this is just they have South unfortunately has to count. Um, when they play a spade, you can afford to pitch a club here, but after the ace, king, queen of clubs, the queen of clubs, South has two big cards and they have to decide which one to pitch. The only clue on the auction, the only clue is in the play by the cards that their partner, the North Hand, played in the hearts and diamonds. They went high-low in diamonds to show an even number, and they've already played three, so it can't be two, it must be four. And they played the Jack of Hearts at trick one, and then they went eight of hearts, three of hearts. So South had to be paying attention, and they had to be paying attention early to catch partner signals. But if they followed their partner's signals, then they should be comfortable working out the declare has a heart left. This is one of the challenging, and frankly, it's not that much fun part of defense. But it's one that count signals help you get a picture of your partner's hand. Once you've got a picture of your partner's hand, then you can start picturing declarer's hand. You can avoid pitching tricks, making the embarrassing thing where you pitch a card and suddenly they cash a card in a suit. That's a very common one when declarer is running a suit. Um, it's nice to show count in the side suits when you don't have anything so that partner can work out which high cards to hold. Again, it's not a suit that declare is leading by itself, but this is a count situation. Help partner decide how which high cards to hold. All right, I want Kathy, or do you? No, Kathy's probably okay.
No, I'm here.
Oh, I just wondering how many people did end up bidding six spades.
I'd have to look on live and see I can do that.
Okay, no, just curious. Anyway,
It's
I'll
it's
go on to the
board
fourth
board eight.
board eight.
I'll look while you're talking.
Yeah, I'll go on to the last hand. So hopefully I've shown a couple of three examples where count signals are useful for the defense. So why do you not just show count signals on every hand? Well, you're telling your partner how many cards you have, but you're also telling declare how many cards you have. And you don't want to give a count signal if or any signal, if that information is going to be more useful to the other side than your side. This is a tough one to work out. There's been lots of cases where um, you give you give count and declare takes advantage of it, or you don't give count but partner needed it. Working out when you should and when you shouldn't is a difficult problem. In general, you sort of want to go with the examples that I've given here, where it's going to be a dummy has a suit missing an honor, and you want to prevent them cashing too many cards in the suit, or it's a situation where you want to make sure your partner holds on to the right card at the end. But this is an example that I'm going to give where you don't want to give count. So, auction was going to be a little more not as clear cut as most of the auctions. I think North, I've suggested with 4-4 in the minors opening one diamond because you can get stuck, and this way you can bid two clubs, rebid clubs in a pinch without raising the level. So one diamond, East says pass. With 4-4 in the majors, we start out with bidding a heart so that North can easily show the spades. One heart, pass. North rebids one no here. It's still a flat hand. They don't have four spades. They don't have four card heart support. 12 to 14 points. South has 12. It's aceless. The Queen of Diamonds in partner suit is nice. I think you don't want to be in 3-no trump opposite every hand, but you might on some hands. That qualifies. Let's ask partner if they're top or bottom of their range for the 1-no trump bid. Pass. North has 13, so they're right in the middle. The thing that tilts the balance for me is the heart 10 in partner suit and the diamond 10 in our suit. Those are very likely going to become assets. So I think the red tens tilt the balance between passing 2-no trump and bidding 3-no trump. It's pretty close. You're 12 to 14 and you're right in the middle of it. But the red tens let me say bid three no trump. It's close. If you're playing two no trump, it's not going to affect the lesson of the hand. So opening lead for oh sorry, one more pass. The opening lead, fortunately, is going to be pretty easy. We lead the queen of spades. Two. Still should be an attitude situation right now. We've led the suit. Let's have um let's have declare win the ace, and let's have them count tricks. They have actually we should do that at trick one, so let's do that. So declare has the ace king of spades for two. They have three heart tricks once they've knocked out the ace. Um, they have no club winners, but the defense can't cash too many there. They have three diamond winners, maybe four if we can get to four here. But uh, spades might break 3-3. That's unlikely because they've led one. Um, let's see what happens. But certainly we want to win the ace of spades, and certainly we need to set up heart tricks. So let's do that. We play the 10 of hearts as the short honor from the honor from the shorthand. This is a count situation. We play low to show an even number. That's safe because you're not giving away any tricks in the heart suit by telling declare you have three and your partner. So we do that, and but declare has another one, so they knock out the ace. And they should probably just return a spade. So we'll cash the queen of hearts. Let's pitch a spade. And cash the jack of hearts, pitch a club. So this is one where you want to be careful. Now Declara has to play this diamond suit, and they have to play it for four winners. The percentage play in the diamond suit is to play the ace, king, and queen, or play the queen of diamonds first so you don't block it. But the ace of diamonds, a diamond to the queen, and a diamond to the king. But if East West are both religious about giving count, like if this guy, oh, I've got an even number, let's play the eight. Oh, I've got an even number two. Now, if Declare was watching and they saw both of East and West go high low in diamonds, and they played a third diamond, assuming that Declare trusts the defenders, and there's that to consider, um, then either they're both lying or, well, lying is a strong word. They're both being deceptive, or West has started with Jack fourth of diamonds. So in this situation, the honest count cards will help declare successfully guess a suit that they shouldn't have been able to guess. Um, so count signals are not something you want to do to excess. Lots of times, if declare might have a guess to do in the suit, showing count will help declare guess suits that they otherwise wouldn't have guessed. It's a very, very difficult there is no hard and fast rule there, unfortunately. Um, I would suggest not using situations count very much, except for those fairly clear-cut examples in the first three hands, because the declare is going to make more use of it than your partner on defense. It's a tough situation. But as opposed to attitude signals are usually of more use to your partner than the declare. Count signals, if they're intercepted and believed, are frequently of more use to the declare. So attitude signals should be your first choice of signal. Count should be your second. Suit preference signal should be your third, and that's very seldom that you're going to use suit preference signals. But you want to be sparing about using count signals. Make sure that you're telling the right person somewhere, ideally your partner. Um, so on this hand, Declare probably will play, unless if Declare trusted them, they play the 10 of diamonds. If they don't, they play the king, and now the defense has four pretty easy tricks to beat this one. So that was the essence of count situations. High low with an even numbers. Don't be churlish with the spot card you select. Try and make the signal as clear as possible. That's true of any signal, but the highest card you can afford to play, play that if you're going to go high low. The lowest card you can afford if you're going low up the line. But those for the four ones. I'll repost the chat message in case that one didn't pop up.
For some
And
reason, they haven't posted tonight's results yet, so I can't answer your question.
okay, no problem. I was just curious more than anything else. Were there any other hands that anybody would like to go over the bidding or play on? We were okay with that? Okay.
Yep.
Um, then I think we'll call it an afternoon/evening. Thank you for playing. I hope you enjoyed the game and the lesson.
Thank
And
you.
hope to see you. It's next Thursday that there's not a game, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Right. So next Tuesday, I will hope we will see you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.